Good morning. Let's continue with Dawn simulators. If you're lost, you can go to the table of contents. So this is my favorite tool, these Dawn simulators, and it's now quite early in the morning, so very appropriate that I'm recording this at this hour. This is part of the story about the circadian rhythms, the biological clock differences amongst people with bipolar, but it actually belongs to a much bigger story about how to manage sleep, which is important for mood disorders across the spectrum. Some people are really sensitive to changes in light levels from day to night and across the seasons. That's a disadvantage in some ways, but it also opens the possibility for using it as part of a treatment as well. So this is my favorite gizmo, not a light box. This is a light therapy, but it's not the typical light therapy that you might have heard about. It's a Dawn simulator. Dawn simulators are relatively inexpensive compared to a light box, for example. They have zero risk, very appealing. And whereas the light boxes have not much, but some risk of inducing manic episode, or I think more worrisome, a mixed state. Anything antidepressant, it appears, can do that. The beauty about the Dawn simulator is that treatment is all done by the time you wake up, whereas with a light box, you have to sit there for 30 minutes in front of it. And what I really like about the Dawn simulator is it can actually feel good, even if it doesn't do anything therapeutic in terms of mood. It's just easier to wake up in the morning, like if you have to wake up with an alarm, as opposed to a light box, which is a little harsh and bright at first. Now, how to use these things, these Dawn simulators? Well, so you've set it to wake you up at about the time at which your alarm clock would go off or your desired waking time. And it starts about 30 minutes prior to that, different models, different time frames, but about 30 minutes so that it reaches full intensity at the time that you want to wake up. You can set an alarm too, just to make sure that you do wake up, but ultimately the Dawn simulator is very likely to have you waking up at your desired time without an alarm, another lovely feature. You put it close to your bed, very close, so that the light reaches your eyeball. It goes through your translucent eyelid and reaches your retina and thence to your brain, telling you it's daytime, it's time to wake up now. You might warn your bed partner that this is going to happen if they are not on the same schedule as you, if you have one. And then if it's waking up too early, then you can just move the start time earlier so that ultimately you get it to wake you up at just the time you wish. Alternatively, you could put it a little farther away to make it not wake you up too early, or a dimmer bulb. These are conventional bulbs, white light, nothing fancy. So when do you start using this? Well, if you were using this for seasonal affective disorder to prevent depressions in the winter, where it has good evidence, randomized trial evidence for benefit, then you would start in September and early September before the light levels really start to decrease. Then you would continue it through the winter, and then somewhere around late February or March, when there's enough light reaching you in the morning to wake you up, then you don't need the Dawn simulator anymore. Unless you have a really dark bedroom, which in other places on this series of videos, I've tried to emphasize the importance of having a really dark bedroom, like blacked out curtains, so that you don't have a dawn signal in the morning from the sun. You might then need to continue to use your Dawn simulator throughout the year. That's it. So you can from here go back to the playlist about non-medication approaches or back to the table of contents.